We are about to begin the QB Power Hour webinar series, your bi-weekly dose of insights and learning for accounting professionals with co-host Dan DeLong, along with Sharrin Fuller. We're here to explore the latest in the industry, QuickBooks, and integrations that matter to you. For more details on the series, visit qbpowerhour.com. Before we get started with the main content, we want to cover a few housekeeping tips. Any handouts or resources mentioned today will be provided for download, so no frantic note-taking required. If you miss anything or want to revisit a section, don't worry, video and audio replays of this live webinar will be available after the session. For everyone joining us live on Zoom, please use the Q&A panel for content-specific questions so we can address them directly during the session or follow up later. If you've got general comments or want to chat with your fellow attendees, use the chat feature. We love seeing your thoughts and reactions. Before we dive in, I want to give a huge thank you to our Spotlight sponsors. Their support is a big reason we're able to bring you these webinars completely free of charge. We carefully select sponsors who offer real value to accounting professionals and small business owners, just like you. If you find today's session helpful, please take a moment to check out our sponsors. Your support helps keep this community thriving and ensures we can keep delivering fresh, practical content week after week. Thanks again for being here. Let's get started. All right. Welcome to another QB Power Hour. Today we're going to be talking about the Intuit Accountant Suite is the new QBOA, changes to the platform and the ProAdvisor program. So let's go ahead and kick things off. My name is Dan DeLong, owner at Danwith and School of Bookkeeping. Worked at Intuit for nearly 18 years doing the co-hosting duties here as well as the Workshop Wednesdays and the feature deep dive host at an Unofficial Accountants podcast and the admin of the Facebook group, all that stuff. Okay, enough of that. Big announcement today. Sharrin has graciously accepted to be the full-time co-host of the QB Power Hour. So, Sharrin,
I'm actually watching, seeing how many fall off after you make that announcement. It's like doom, 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 doom. Excited to be here. Excited to see how long it takes before Intuit says no, Dan. That was a terrible decision on your part, but that's okay. You know, everybody needs a little criticism to keep on their toes, right?
That's right. That's right. If we can't have opportunities for improvement, then we can't have feedback.
Absolutely, I agree.
So in a couple power hours, we'll sit down with Sharrin to meet a little bit more about Sharrin for those of you that have not read her book, which is actually a highly recommend to get an insight as to what makes Sharrin tick or not.
Oh man,
what makes
that's
Sharrin
takes longer than
ticked.
a book. But there you go. That's the one. That's the one.
All right. Well,
also, Dan, real quick, I didn't tell you this, but can I have co-host so I can launch some polls for you?
Oh yeah, we should do that. Where are you? Sorry about that. Make co-host. There you are. Okay, now you're official.
All right, now I can do things.
If only it was that easy to make you a co-host.
Right.
Right. All right. Well, as you have other announcements, starting this year in 2026, we are no longer offering CPE credit through Earmark. There are historical webinars on the channel that you can access through earmark.app and get some CPE credit. But at least for this year, we put a pause on new webinars for that. But you can always go to qbpowerhour.com/resources for PDFs of the slides, past recordings, podcasts, and other things there as well. And I forgot to put on the stream the QR code to get the handouts, and we'll put that in the chat there when we start this first poll here. But today we're going to talk about our Intuit news is discounts on desktop, decoding some of the Intuit confusing emails that have been floating around. And then we'll go into IAS is the new QBOA. We'll talk about some of the ProAdvisor program changes that were announced at Intuit Connect, and then we'll dive into Intuit Accountant Suite, the different flavors of it, and then some of the paid for functions, books closed, client insights, and some other IAS features. So let's go ahead and launch that first poll question of what version
All right.
of
I
QuickBooks
was ready.
you are at
There
the
you go.
ready. Excellent. And for those of you
I'm ready
watching on
until I realize I should have been listening to you and hit the launch.
the queue, you're looking for the queue. Maybe we
I
should
am, I
do
am.
like a you know,
Roll that
advance
beautiful
the
bean
slide.
footage. I think that one's taken. The baked
Yeah,
bean. Roll that beautiful. I want that.
excellent. So what version of QuickBooks do you use to support your clients? QBO only, QB desktop only, or both, or maybe some other accounting software? All right. So as we talked about last QB Power Hour, we talked about the effective February 1st, the renewal prices for desktop are increasing. Well, in the Facebook group, there was someone who posted this image that came from, um, it came into email, right? So the desktop pricing is increasing February 1st, and it's roughly 20%. And then here we get an email uh, from presumably Intuit saying that you can save 20% for 12 months,
Oh
right?
my
So
God. Intuit is a Bed Bath and Beyond coupon.
that is
We increase
actually a
our
good
prices
way.
by 20%, so you can save 20%. Look what we've done for you because we love you. It's like we're not accountants and we don't math, right? Sorry,
Right.
I said what I said.
Well, that's kind of that was my thought about it too. Like, right, if QuickBooks is increasing their pricing on renewals, and they've you can no longer get new versions of QuickBooks, which is a desktop, I should say, which
Mhm.
I guess I'm not sure if this applies to enterprise or not, because it just talks about plus. Um, so the email was that went out was offering the discounts on renewals. So, you know, do they just kind of cancel each other out for the next year? The big question on the Facebook post is this a legitimate email, right? Which I called the number that was listed there, and it is Intuit, right? So I don't know where it actually goes because I did not follow the tree, the voice recognition tree, and where do you want to go? But I did recognize the automated phone system as being Intuit. So unless the bad actor out there has copied the voice tree and all of the options, I would assume that this is actually a legitimate email from Intuit, which
So this reminds me of whenever I wanted a discount with Verizon, if I thought my bill was too big, I'd call up to cancel. They'd send me to retention and I'd get like a killer, same with Cox or internet. I get a killer credit for the next year. And then I do the same thing again. So this kind of feels like this, get to the point, let it cancel, be like, yeah, I'm just going to go. And then they'll send you the, wait, don't go.
yeah,
You guys, I'm just stick around for more tips and tricks on money saving with
yeah.
Intuit.
And another thought I had, right, is I assume that next year they will also increase their prices. So if somebody, well, the only way I guess to get this discount is to call, right, which gives Intuit an opportunity to talk about non-desktop products.
Buying their bookkeeping service.
Right. So it allows for that conversation to happen, right? And if they can still continue to want to stay on QuickBooks Desktop, they still can. They get this promotion, assuming next year Intuit will do the same thing and increase their prices on desktop. When this expires, that will be quite a jump from what it is today to what it will be in 2 years, presumably. And that will then have the um, effect of, whoa, okay, I really need to start talking about QuickBooks Online. This is really effectively just kicking it down 2 years down the road of when we have to have that
Mhm.
conversation about what's going to happen. And we are also assuming that to I'm sorry, that May 31st, 2027 is
Hey,
likely the
I will be
discontinue.
47 on that day. So it
Ah,
makes sense that discontinue it all down. Just kidding. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I just want
well,
everybody to know
now,
my birthday so I can put it in the calendar.
good.
I accept vodka
Duly noted.
and recreational drug. Just kidding. I'm kidding. Don't mail
Um,
those.
so we're assuming that I'm operating on the assumption that that is the discontinuation date of Desktop Pro and Premiere. So they may make those announcements then, and that may be, you know, another partial of the conversation, right? Of okay, we're ready to move to QuickBooks Online at that point. But a lot of the comments in that post were, "Is this a legitimate email?" One, it's confusing, because of the whole, raise the prices, discount the new prices. And then, what is this actually legitimate, right? And I have a blog on schoolofbookkeeping.com that is all about, 4 different ways to detect that scam, right? And first thing is to review the from address of the email, right? When you see the email and you look at the address, not the contact name, but the address, what is that actually from? If it does say at the end intuit.com, or yeah, intuit.com, then that is a good indicator that this is legitimately from Intuit. Now, this wouldn't be the first time that Intuit sent an email by mistake, right? So that doesn't mean that it actually is an email that you need to act on. But then look at the call to action of the email. What are they asking you to do? If they are asking you to do something specifically the in the email itself with a link, beware, right? Just look at the link itself, see where that's going. If that is not, trackable email links, when somebody sends an email out of their email marketing program, uh, there's all sorts of convoluted links in order to track um, the analytics of the effectiveness of an email campaign. So just because it's garbled doesn't mean that it's not a legitimate email, but where is it trying to take you?
Wait,
If you see
did
if
you
you see
see
some,
Murph's post in the chat?
oh
It
no,
says intuit.communistparty.org. Sorry. Sorry. That's hilarious. Sorry.
that is that
Oh,
is a good one.
Murph.
So
Sorry,
you,
Dan. We all care about spam, but that had to be
yes,
pointed out so everybody
that,
could see.
that is
Oh,
a
man.
good comment.
I lost air. I
Yeah.
pass out.
So hovering over the links and seeing where that's actually going, if it is not, again, an intuit.com address or QuickBooks.com, actually, QuickBooks.com doesn't exist. QuickBooks.com is actually a subdomain of Intuit.com. So you shouldn't actually see a QuickBooks.com. I mean, you can go to QuickBooks.com, but if you do, you'll see that it redirects just right to um, quickbooks.intuit.com. So looking at that from that lens, just to keep in mind of where that's actually sending you. Inspect the email for typos. With AI now, those typos are pretty much non-existent. But I actually did read an article that talks about bad actors purposefully misspell stuff in emails because that is actually the type of individual that they're looking for, is someone who would still act on something even though there is a blatant typo or something wrong in the email itself. The kind of
Hey,
that,
Dan, real quick.
yeah,
Oh, sorry. I'm sorry. I got to get better at that. I was so excited about the fact that you said my birthday and trying to solicit free vodka that I totally, and poor Margie here was like, wait, what is happening on May 31st? Can you just real quick, what was that again that's happening May 31st, 2027, except for me turning 47?
Yeah, so I am operating on the assumption that since Desktop 2024 is the last version of QuickBooks and Intuit's discontinuation policy of live support for said products expires, the service discontinuation date is 3 years plus the version on May 31st. Habitually, or historically, that's the word I was looking for. Historically, service discontinuation is May 31st, and it's of the product 3 years prior, right? So we are just operating on, past being an indicator of the future. We are under no knowledge of, these things actually occurring, but for Pro, Premier Plus, those subscriptions that they're no longer actively selling, we are assuming that on May 31st, 2027, so next year, that 2024 will be there will be some kind of announcement for Pro and Premier Plus subscriptions. QuickBooks Enterprise, they've made no claims or statements that that will be going away at all. There may be, some exception to this discontinuation policy made at that time, but the future holds what the future holds. So there's a lot that can happen between now and May 31st, 2027, but that is just, my speculation date as to some kind of announcement around Pro Premier Plus subscriptions. Not QBO Plus subscriptions, but Pro Premier Plus, desktop only. The ones they're not actively selling. And then you can also go and check out the Intuit security site for seeing if prior reports have been made about the notification of what you might be suspecting as somebody from a bad actor or a malicious email or something like that. So you can always go check that out, look for the typos, hover over the links, look what it's asking you to do, and review the from address to inspect those emails. Hopefully, your clients are doing the same thing, or at least asking you about said emails. What should I do about those types of things? So that's the Intuit news. But I guess this whole thing is all about Intuit news because we're going to be talking about these changes that are dealing with the ProAdvisor program and the QBOA and Intuit Accountant Suite. So at Intuit Connect, they made the announcement that they are reimagining the ProAdvisor program. It's already been reimagined a couple of years ago, so they are reimagining again.
Did this? Didn't we just do this? And we just had to do a whole new certification and all these different levels, like we were, or was that so? There's just so that was that a couple of years ago when they said we're
Yep.
no longer pro, you're either one or two.
Yeah,
Because that was the last one. Okay, that
changed
felt
the
like it was
academy,
last year.
the certifications. They changed the points and the tiers. The thresholds to get to the different tiers. That was, I think, last year or the year before when those announcements and those changes were made. Now they're reimagining it again, right? So look for some changes on that. The dates that they were talking then, of course, these are all subject to change, is May of 2023. So we're in the phase of testing and feedback, right? So they made these changes and announcements at Intuit Connect that, QBO is going away, right? But they did, poorly message that.
Whoa, you just said QBO go.
QBOA. So QuickBooks Online Accountant
I'm like,
is
no more bombshells. Me being around full time is enough for all these people this morning.
Yeah, if there's a lag and that was that was a challenge, then sorry about that. So QuickBooks Online Accountant is being discontinued, and that's where we're at today. Is opting into the Intuit Accountant Suite and the different flavors
Mhm.
of Intuit Accountant Suite. So by December of 2026, QBOA as it exists today, with the suitcase at the top and the firm books and the your practice and the way that it looks today will be retired. That doesn't mean that you won't have an Intuit Accountant Suite that is a free option for accountants. That just means that the way QBO Accountant looks today is no
Won't
longer going to
be.
be the case, right?
Which honestly, haven't they been doing that as to us for a couple of years now? I think to try to get us used to the fact that they're changing it. Just, I mean, but
Yeah.
they're going to take away my suitcase. Like, look, I don't even have accounting clients anymore. But I think I've told you guys I run my personal stuff because I have a trust and all these LLCs and like 40 different cards. Anyhow, so I run my personal stuff like a business and I use QuickBooks. And if that tool goes away, I will storm the castle.
Right. Yeah.
Who's
So
with
this,
me? Who's got a pitchfork? Fun fact, real quick, I want to announce to everybody. Did anybody else see that NetSuite, their Suite World, they booked it on the same dates as Intuit Connect this year in Vegas. So NetSuite Suite World is running right alongside Intuit Connect, and that was just interesting to me. It has nothing to do with this, but just
right.
coincidence.
I'm sure any of those offsites that some of the apps are
Oh,
are are going to be doing are
it's going
going
to be a
to have a
networking,
mixture of,
like, it's just going to be amazing. I'm so excited.
yeah. And I know
Linda,
people
they
are
haven't done it yet. So everyone's like, wait a second. So the suitcase up there is still there. Dan is saying that
yeah.
probably as of September, right before Connect, so we can go there again and storm that castle, is when they're going to change it up on us overnight. So
Yeah.
you're
Yeah.
okay
So
until then. Get your taxes done.
exactly. And they're also talking about a global partnership program in the realm of the ProAdvisor, right? That got me thinking when they were talking about that they may change the term associated with what was, what we refer to today as a ProAdvisor, right? And
Do you
what
think that's
would,
because Insightful Accountant, they really claimed that and made it their own? And Intuit's like, well, shucks, we ain't going
hey,
up against Gary and Murph. We're just going to rebrand.
well, it
They
it
know.
does
They
it does
know.
make a it does it does a it does have an interesting connotation to it, right? Because the ProAdvisor
Mm-hmm.
program has been around for 30 years, right?
Mm-hmm.
Several decades. I mean, I remember a couple years ago at uh, QuickBooks or Intuit Connect, they had a on the main stage, they had all the ProAdvisors who had been there for 25, since the beginning of 25
Wow.
years. Um, so that term of ProAdvisor, if that gets rebranded to something else like global partner or whatever, whatever it ends up turning out to be, is there some emotional attachment to it as a ProAdvisor? Because it was always something that, kind of was a distinguishing thing, right? So I'm just kind of interested to see how that term, if if it does have an evolution, what does that evolve to? And I'll be looking for, things that typically are branded ProAdvisor if they no longer have the term ProAdvisor on it, if they're just kind of weaning us off the term of ProAdvisor, right? So let's talk about the different versions of Intuit Accountant Suite. So one thing that's consistent is the naming, right? So now we have this Intuit Enterprise Suite, and now we have for accountants the Intuit Accountant Suite. So IAS, IES, at least we're in the same, naming convention, right?
Mm.
So as an accountant or as a, power user of QuickBooks online, the Intuit Enterprise Suite and the Intuit Accountant Suite are like the next level up for whatever, right? So if you're not just a QBO subscriber as a small business and you need more, you have that to move into. If you're an accountant or a bookkeeper or in the profession, you have Intuit Accountant Suite. So the naming convention at least is similar, right? So you have two versions to choose from. So we're in
Doesn't
this phase.
IAS sound like Intuit's gonna like raid your house and make sure you're using their product? Like, I don't know. Whenever I hear IAS, I'm like, is that a federal agency? Are they coming for me? But maybe
It
that's what they
does.
want, right? It's like Demolition Man. All that's gonna be left is Taco Bell, QuickBooks, and Walmart.
Yeah.
And those three damn shells. It's
Right.
just that's life, guys. It's just how it's gonna be. I can say damn, right? That's not super offensive.
No,
I
yeah.
won't anymore. I'll say
Yeah.
dang, because I'm a lady.
Um, right. Exactly. So you have two flavors to choose from. Core is uh, basically the new version of QBOA, right? So the same functions or features that you have in QBOA as it sits today, IAS Core is essentially the same thing. With Core, it's the intention is that it will always be free. You do have the option to opt into a paid for service called Books Close, and we'll talk about what that is within Core, within the realm of Core. The other option is Accelerate, right? So as it lists today, so when you opt into it today, as it says, it's $0 a month because we are in that gather feedback phase up until May, right? Like, so I assume around May they'll make some announcement. They're gathering usage data, feedback, all of the things that are in this phase of this product to see where the value lies, right? Like, what are people using? How do they value it? What would you pay for that sort of thing, right? So I'm sure before now and May or whenever they make the announcement, they're going to be doing lots of A/B testing with various individuals to see, well, is this worth it, right? And what would people pay? So the this is an interesting diversion, or not diversion, but change of pace, right? So when I was at Intuit, and in 2013 they announced the Cloud ProAdvisor program, right? They included the yearbooks and everything was for free at that point, right? So up until 2013, if you were a ProAdvisor, there was a fee associated with being a ProAdvisor, right? You had to be the desktop ProAdvisor and you had the choice of enterprise or um, accountant, premier accountant edition. So there always was a fee associated with being a ProAdvisor, and then this cloud ProAdvisor program where it became totally free for anyone, to opt in, right? There was no rite of passage, there was no certification program, there was nothing stopping anyone, even those that was not an accountant, to sign up for QBOA and, basically get a free version of QuickBooks Online at that point. Um, so here is now Intuit is, instead of making everything free and giving, payroll, elite time, all of those things away for free, there are now accountant-based functions that they're going to associate a fee with, right? So the books close. But for the for the foreseeable
Oh my
future,
God, they're giving it away free because everything's in beta and coming soon. So what they're doing right here, I'm totally interrupting you guys because this
yeah,
is what they're doing. They want to give it to you for free. So you're like, yay, Intuit loves me. They're going to use you and everything you do to build this data. And then they're going to go, now, by the way, it's $1 million that you're already in here. You've helped us build the data. You've got everything customized and set up, but now you've got to pay us X. Just so you know, just be prepared. That's what they're doing. That's what they have done. That's what they're doing. So do not be pissed in a year when you've done this and then they start charging you, because they will. Nothing's for free with Intuit. If you're not paying for it, you are the product. Again, follow me for
right.
more tips and tricks, but don't be mad. I told you.
So right now they're
Go
free.
ahead, Dan. You do you now.
Okay. I love having you say what we're all thinking.
Well, I've got nothing to lose here.
Right.
I told you the worst thing we know the worst thing that's going to happen, but I've got nothing to lose, guys. I've
Yeah.
nothing to lose.
Yeah. I mean,
I
if
always scroll to
history,
see if there's any Intuit, like Ted or Kim are on here. I'm like, or Jessica. I can't understand why they won't add me to the advisory board. They need me. Somebody
if
needs
you
to not kiss
feel
their butt.
the sharp pain of a poison dart,
It's me.
you're
Yeah.
not buying any open windows or anything, right?
Oh yeah. No, believe me, I'm
All right.
sage this stuff. I'm like, just kidding. Go ahead. I have the
All right.
protection of zero, puzzle, and digits.
All right. So they are free for now, right? And at this point, they are collecting information. If you never opt into the books review, even if you're in Intuit Accountant Suite Core, um, they have said that it will continue to be free, right? And they're not taking things away or functions that you can do today. They're, as we'll hopefully unpack, just more things that you can do within Intuit Accountant Suite that doesn't require you to go into your client's QuickBooks, right? That is the whole thing that is kind of driving that is less clicks of getting into your clients and seeing things just in your firm, right? So you can toggle versions right now. So if you opt in for Accelerate, don't find that you're using any of those things and you want to go back to Core, you can, and you can opt out until you can't, right? So probably until December of 2026, whenever they announce the closure of QuickBooks Online Accountant, you should be able to opt out. Now, to opt in and out, you have to be the primary admin of the firm. So that's something to keep in mind there, right? So if you don't see the option to opt in, it's because you're not designated as the primary admin. So just getting around in IAS, it's redesigned. The user has changed, but at least it's consistent with the redesign of QuickBooks in general, right? So this is consistent. So they're ripping the Band-Aid off all at once, right? It's consistent with QBO. It's got a customizable left side menu, the My menu, which is the briefcase that was at the top with all of your accountant tools in your firm and your clients, has now moved over to the My menu, which is customizable for your firm as well as your individual clients. And then, of course, you have a dashboard, which is not your client list because the home screen when you logged into QuickBooks Online Accountant was your clients, and that's what it was for, is to springboard into your clients. Now you have a dashboard with customizable uh, widgets is what the it's what the screen should say, not a customizable Wii. Um, that's a Nintendo version of Intuit Enterprise Suite. Um, but you'll have a dashboard, and so general navigation wise, you'll be able to navigate around presumably similarly because you're familiar with the new user interface of QuickBooks Online because it's very similar. It's customizable for you and your team. So the biggest thing when they make a huge change like that is where to go. Who moved, what happened, right? So the terms of your practice, your books, which was the QBOA side menu, right? You had things separated into your practice for clients and work and ProAdvisor and team. All those things were at the top. And then your books was anything dealing with the QBO subscription that they give as part of the QuickBooks Online account. So that has changed to service delivery and firm operations. So very fancy words, um, splitting those things out. The client list homepage is now firm operations, right? It brings up the firm operations, and your clients and client invites are now for the to access the clients. You're going to see in the firm operations there'll be a section for firm ops, excuse me, and clients and client invites. will be listed there. Client invites is if you haven't used it before, it's actually pretty slick. When you get an invitation from your clients, they can just put in your firm ID, and then it shows up in there. You don't have to go through this whole email rigmarole of trying to accept the invitation, and then caching cookies gets in the way. So that's an interesting development right there. So team has gone under firm ops. So you'll have three new options under there for team, which will be users, roles, and certifications. So you'll be able to see all the things associated with your team in one place, rather than just seeing invites, and those types of things to your team members. Work, which was, the practice management, setting up templates, um, tasks, and those types of things, is now gone into service delivery, and you'll see projects and tasks be a part of that. ProAdvisor has gone into the firm operations section, and then you'll see the benefits and the training access there. As far as your profile, it will still be under the user in the upper right and the global header at the top. You'll be able to access your ProAdvisor site, your ProAdvisor portal, for you as whoever happened to be logged in. Workflows, which was, the automated templates of QBO Advanced inside of your books, has now gone into the global header, which is that, it's now like a dark green across the top. You'll have a lightning bolt there at the top to access the workflow templates. And then the search icon has gone away in favor of the search field in the global header. There's a link there in the slides for side-by-side comparison. It's actually a vertical comparison. They don't put them side by side on the article, but it goes through all of these things so that you can get a visual representation of that. At School of Bookkeeping, actually tomorrow, we're going to be talking about navigating the IAS. So if you want to join us there tomorrow, we'll get a little bit more hands-on with that. So core features, you have Books Review, which is in beta, and we'll talk a little bit more about what you can do there. Your team training, so there will be a widget. I forgot to put a screenshot here. Oh, wait, no, that's what it is. There we go. I forgot to I put animation on.
You were fancy.
Yeah. I'm like, oh my goodness, what did I do? So team training, you will have a widget that will have all of the people that are invited as team members of your firm, and you'll be able to see of those people how many are certified and for what. And then you can go into manage the training and see what they've started, if they've started other certifications like the bookkeeping or the client advisory services CAS course or anything like that in there. But the certification widget will show up on the dashboard. It's customizable where you can move things around if you want. But then going into the certification or the training manager portal, you can actually see who has started what. The customer hub is included now with your firm, the firm books. Client widgets. These are, oh, there we go. Forgot my animation again. Client widgets. There is a widget that shows clients with disconnected bank accounts right there inside of IAS. So you'll be able to see, right there on the home screen, hey, maybe something needs to be addressed here. And then you can, either reach out to the customer or figure out how to reconnect those bank accounts. Apps or integrations also has a widget, so you'll be able to see by client people who might have clients who might have something going on with an app that's integrated with their QuickBooks. Whoops, and I guess I stopped with the animation there. There's also a product updates widget, which is nice because a lot of times these updates go under the radar, right? Um, and if you want to see things that Intuit is working on, there will be a widget for that, and you can go and take a and learn more about those updates and QuickBooks product recommendations. So there will be a section in there. I clicked on it last night as I was making the slides. It brought up a client that has 9 employees, and it said, "Hey, they have 9 employees. Maybe you might want to suggest that they get QuickBooks Payroll, right?" And this will be why, right? Because, well, of course, QuickBooks doesn't have an insight as to what their payroll provider might happen to be, and they might be already taken care of. But when there is a QuickBooks service that they're not using, it's a marketing opportunity for that. With Accelerate, any questions that you saw, Sharon, about that were
Yeah, where are the
floating?
link to the slides?
Oh, that's a big one. It's always
I
a
was like,
big
oh,
one.
I don't know. I'll leave you guys all on read.
Let's see. I'm going to put it in the chat, and then Sharon, if you can socialize that,
Yep,
we'll
got
get
you.
that going there. So
Sorry, guys.
Accelerate, you're going to have all the features of Core plus Client Insights, and we'll talk about what you can do with Client Insights momentarily. There is a AI-powered anomaly detection. So when you see those little sparkles for AI, you'll start to see them inside of IAS. And again, all of this is in service. The goal or the things that they're trying to do with this uh, this product offering is less clicks, right? So if you can see all of these things inside of QuickBooks uh, Online Accountant or Intuit Accountant Suite. Still got to get used to that. um, you know, if it takes less clicks, you'll get more done, right? If you can do that inside of the your firm subscription as opposed to going into each particular client to either gather some information or do some kind of task. You do get 500 ProAdvisor points um, for opting into Accelerate, which immediately puts you in the gold level, right? So they're marketing that as an advantage to do that because you get to talk to ProAdvisor support agents that are more seasoned than those that are on the silver level, right? So if you opt out, right, you lose those 500 points. And then future things on the roadmap are things about sub orgs. I don't know what that actually means. What sub orgs actually is, because it's a future thing. And then firm capacity planning. Some of the things that they were talking about
I
at
wonder, that makes
Intuit
sense
Connect.
because I like have mine and then I owned other accounting firms. Or if you have an accounting firm, like for example, my accounting firm was just purchased and they're keeping it as a separate like branch. So maybe that's what it is. Because right now you keep two things completely separate and it's hard to run a company. But this, if that's what they're doing with suborgs, thank God, because that makes complete
Yeah.
sense. You can have different
Yeah, I'm
branches.
not sure if it's sub organizations for you as a firm or sub
Well, if it's
organizations
for
for
my
your
client, it's
clients.
for me too, because I am a client and I am a accountant. So
Elaine, I just saw that question pop up. You won't be losing payroll, so everything that they're currently giving away as part of QBOA is continuing to be that. You're not losing access to your books or the elite payroll or the elite time or the elite uh, bill pay function inside of Intuit Accountant Suite as of today, right? I can't tell what they're going to do tomorrow or announce tomorrow, but as of today, that is the plan. All right. So let's launch our second poll question. Which version of IAS have you already opted into? Has it been
did
have
it.
you tried it with Core or Accelerate, or you haven't opted in yet, or I've opted in and I switched back, right? Or none of the above. I just talked to somebody today while we're answering this question, who is an accountant, um, and it brought up an interesting thing, right? Like if you don't like change, the navigation change, he was using the desktop app and changed it to desktop view, right? So that is something that is consistent. If you don't like the way the navigation has changed and you're more familiar with, something that is similar, go ahead and download the QuickBooks desktop application and change it to desktop view. And that's going to be something that will remain the same. Um, but as the new features are added or things like that, you might not be able to access them unless you find them navigation wise and then create your own shortcut for them. But that is something that you might want to, if you're a little done with the amount of changes that are happening as far as the navigation is concerned, that's actually I think a good option. All right, so let's log in. Let's talk about books closed.
Let's chit chat. Let's have a chit chat.
So right now, this is free to opt into. If you're looking at QuickBooks, or I'm sorry, Intuit Accountant Suite, and you see something that has a diamond on it, that is Intuit's international symbol of you got to opt into something, and this potentially is going to have a fee associated with it when they announce said fee, right? But this allows you to work on closing activities without leaving Intuit Accountant Suite. There's dashboards for all clients, for all of your clients. I'm sorry, there is a dashboard of the books close that shows all of your clients, not to be confused with the dashboard that you log into Intuit Enterprise or Intuit Accountant Suite. There is a dashboard for just books closed, and that will have all of the clients, and you can assign clients to team members, right? That's the big question that people typically ask is, well, how is this different than books review, right? So you can assign.
This is actually a project management tool where you can keep track of, because we would use books review, and I'm like, I still think it was missing features, where things that like Double doesn't have, or the software level didn't have. But I do like that you can assign, as long as it'll keep that assigned. It makes it easier to manage on the inside.
Yeah. So you can use this to create a dashboard of all of because not every client that you have may not be a books closed type of client, right? You may not have that kind of engagement with your client, so you can put all of your books closed clients in one place, right? So you can see that here, who it's assigned to, how far they are along in marking those complete. You can filter for certain periods and do some customizations in there. So the books close tool is divided into sections. So you've got pre-close, account reconciliation, transaction review, and as you can see, the payee entity review is coming soon. So that's not available just yet. And then additional items, and then sending financials. So it's very similar to the books review. And as a matter of fact, the In the Know webinar, if you caught that one where they were talking about books review, they talked about it as an advanced books review, right? So here at the top here. So there are some neat things, like you can reconcile an account right in the books closed tool for all of your clients. So you don't leave Intuit Accountant Suite to reconcile your client, right? So you don't have to go into their books, go into the reconcile screen. So if that is something that you do, the account reconciliation, it will expand that area, and you can just reconcile the accounts right within Intuit Enterprise Suite. That is their goal, is that you don't have to keep going into and toggling into different clients. It's just all in one place. And the transaction review has some really cool things, a little bit more than books review, being able to assign payees in bulk, you know, transactions that were added by auto rule, right? So anything that is a rule that gets auto added into QuickBooks, you might, want to review that just to make sure that that rule is set up and working properly as part of your review process. Some of these features, again, are in Books Review, but all of these are the goal is that they're all in one place for all of your clients, and you can just kind of go down the list without having to log into your client. Now you can, if needed, you can access your client from these tools, right? So if you need to go into the report, it will provide a link, and then you can get into those things. All right. So I'm running out of steam here. So
I don't know what to tell you, man. I just been letting you go. You're just on it, and you know what they say, if you don't have something nice to say, Sharrin will say it for you. But I actually am just listening. I love this. I just want to make it very clear that Double/Keeper has been doing this a lot longer. So it's really, I tell Ben and Kenny every time, I'm like, Intuit is like, they've got to be watching your product. And they're like, why didn't we do that?
Yeah.
Double would just create a GL. They'd wipe out Intuit for accountants. I think all accountants would move to Double off of QuickBooks if they would create a GL. Hear that, Katie and Ben? Create a GL. Let's do a Kickstarter for it, right?
Exactly. So Client Insights, this is the feature in Accelerate. So you have to be in Accelerate, not Core, in order to opt in to the Client Insights. It's a high-level view of all of your clients based on key metrics, right? So there are preset and custom views that you can create. Again, you're staying in Intuit Accountant Suite. All across the board, you have the ability to filter, change the dates of what you're looking at with the Client Insights. You can set custom fields in your clients inside of Intuit Accountant Suite, because you've got 12 to use, with the firm books being online advanced level for accountants. So you can create custom fields that might be drop downs, maybe certain types of clients, certain industries, or things like that you might want to associate with your clients. You can use those custom fields to filter the client insights. So if you want to see all of your e-commerce clients, or your retail clients, or your legal clients in one place, you can use custom fields to do that. You can select specific QuickBooks subscriptions. So those clients that are on Advanced or Essentials, you can use those as filters. Or who is the accounting lead, right? So maybe somebody on your team, they're not doing so well with advising your clients, right? So you may want to change the accounting lead so that you can see all of those clients in one place. Or maybe they're doing well. I don't want to be pessimist. And you can sort and reorder columns as well. The views that you have will give you the ability to, these columns that you see across the top here. So in this particular case, it was profit and loss data, I believe, or I can't even remember what I chose for this issue. But it will give you these columns. Oh no, this was bookkeeping. That's what it was. So this column, or these columns of total AR past due, total AP past due, disconnected bank accounts, app issues, and transaction counts are totally customizable as well, right? So you can go into the customized screen, add more. If you obviously, in this particular screenshot, I have no customers with app issues today, or at least yesterday. So maybe I don't want to see that, right? So maybe that's not, part of the concern. You can customize the bookkeeping, the views that are there, and add the columns and reorganize them. So the default views are P&L data, bookkeeping data, and balance sheet data. And then you've got the custom views that you can create yourself, right? So you can start with the bookkeeping data and create your own view. As far as customizations on those views, you can sort by any column that is displayed is available to be sorted by. There was, as I was playing around with it, there was an additional sorting option. I think that was a tease because I couldn't find a way to make more than one sorting option available. So like if you wanted to see by disconnected bank accounts and then by overdue AP, that is the theory that you could have, is that you could have it broken down as sub sorting. So any displayed column is sortable. You'll see all of the columns that are available in there, but some will be grayed out. That just means you don't have them displayed. Rows, you can see up to 100 rows on a screen, and then you can change the way that they view alternating row color or the compact drop downs that you have in there to how much room you want to see per row. And then you'll have a select and reorder option under columns, right? So you can go in there, you can drag a reorder. So if you want to see transaction count be the first column, you can do that in there by accessing the customize link there. And then as far as future IAS features, there will be a lot of things dealing around firm capacity planning, which was kind of neat that I saw. Like, if you're in the throes of tax season and you need more bookkeeping help, you could essentially see what's available. When the way they explained it at Intuit Connect is that, hey, maybe somebody's going on vacation. With your QuickBooks time, you'll be able to see when that is and be able to plan accordingly. And if you find that you're in a capacity shortage and you need more help, one of the potential options is leveraging, QuickBooks Live for some of those things, kind of like a Uber for accountants. Bring those into your firm, so you could maybe leverage some of those simpler tasks that QuickBooks Live is associated with, and provide those capacity problems that you might be having and have those quickly addressed. And then, of course, we talked about the suborgs, tax, payroll, bill pay, service delivery. Not sure what that looks like because I haven't talked about it yet. And then more AI agents and AI chat is what's coming in the near future. So look for those. So our last poll question: was this useful? Yeah, I timed it right, Sharrin. We got a power hour and we got a full
this
hour.
Question's so loaded. Like anybody that answers no or NA, I want to know why.
Somebody did.
Like I know it's got to be Murph.
Yeah.
Who answers no? We can see you ding dongs. Do I look like a person you say no to? Now everybody's going to start answering no, and I wouldn't blame you because I would totally troll this and answer no.
Right.
I'm really disappointed no one else. Oh, there's a second one. You hope you feel good about yourselves. This is fun.
Yeah, you can't answer
Murph
more
says
than
yes. Oh, 4 of you. That's it. Honestly, I do it too, just to see if I get like hate mail or I don't understand why people get mad at me.
So Sharrin, what are your thoughts about this as we kind of unpacked?
I mean, I made a comment in there. I'm a crap talker, right? But I'm a bitter accountant And all of us are bitter. We are bitter because we feel used and we devoted everything and we became influencer or not influencers, but we became ProAdvisors. We are the middleman and they don't need us anymore. Now that's a solid business model. I ain't mad at them from the business side. What they're doing makes complete business sense. Enterprise, end user, they don't need us. We are them. And they're either like, you join us or you're our enemy, right? And I think the problem with all of us is that we're trying to come to terms with that. Do we keep utilizing the software we've known forever and accept the fact that what we once were to Intuit is no longer what we once were, and keep moving along? Or do we, cut ties and go elsewhere? I mean, honestly, my opinion is this is going to happen with any software, you guys. Any software that builds for accountants is eventually going to become the accountant and not going to need us. So this is where you join my community, because we have to make you dun-dun-dun. There was definitely a lead up there. This is where we make you indispensable, despite all this stuff that is coming in and this AI that's coming in to replace us. Don't be replaceable, right? So if you keep doing what you're always doing, you're not, hopefully you're retiring soon, because you likely will not be as successful. You have to adapt with it. So I'm mad at them. I'm angry. Emotionally, I'm angry. Business wise, this makes complete sense. They're doing what makes sense for their product to, rule the world. So that's what I have to say about that, Dan.
And that is
Final thoughts with Sharrin.
little. It's what burns Sharrin's s'mores.
Burns my s'mores. Oh my goodness, that's so funny. Anybody that is asking more questions that I don't get to, please email me sfuller@glasswalletventures.com. I continue to answer questions. I really don't mind it. Feel free to email me. I'll throw it in the chat so you guys have it.
And I saw in the chat that and there was some feedback about this was a lot of information to take in an hour. We did really cram a lot of things in here. Over at School of Bookkeeping on work, we're in the throes of the Intuit Accountant Suite topics, and actually tomorrow is we're just talking about navigating, and we'll actually be demonstrating, some of these things. So if you want to sign up for the workshop Wednesdays, those are a little bit more casual. We don't have a time crunch or limit. We try to keep them around a half an hour
or a Sharrin. That may be an upsell for some of you.
But tomorrow is just all about navigating around, and then the week after that we'll talk about the books close, and then so we'll just have the whole thing talking about a specific topic here. We wanted to kind of give an overview here today, and since we only have an hour, there's a lot of information to uncover. So if you want to check that out, we'd love to have you over there. So we always also have quick answers over at School of Bookkeeping. Sharrin has her Clone and Conquer, and we'll be doing a little bit more deeper dive into Sharrin at a future Power Hour, where we'll be talking about some of the her journey and some of the things that she's worked on.
Oh, that'll be fun. I'll come to that one.
Yeah, that would be helpful for your participation in that one.
I don't know. I prefer to not be there. Just read the chat. That's almost more fun to me.
And next time on the QB Power Hour, we'll be talking about. This will be actually a series that I think we're going to be doing here. Is the grass greener, right? So. Dovetailing off what you had just said, our accountants looking for somewhere else. We're going to have Donna Reed and Deb. I don't want to butcher her last name. Kilsinger.
Deb Kilsinger.
Yeah, we'll have them on because they just started to work with digits. So we'll have them come on the next QB Power Hour and talk about the what they're experiencing with moving some of their clients to digits. So look forward to having that next time on the QB Power Hour. Thank you for joining us today and the lively discussion as we were chatting around today. And we'll see you next time on the QB Power Hour.
Bye, everyone.